Hello and welcome to What's Next Weekly, Premier NX's weekly podcast for forward-thinking leaders who aren't just keeping up with change, they're defining what comes next.
I'm Sophia Grant.
And I'm Alex Reed. Each week, we break down the biggest challenges and opportunities in business growth, digital transformation, and AI, giving you the insights you need to lead with confidence.
In today's episode, we're looking at the foundation of your entire tech stack, the ERP. We'll explore why adding more tools isn't the answer, how misaligned core systems create bottlenecks across your whole organization, and how stabilizing your ERP can turn it into a strategic force multiplier.
Let's get started. So imagine dropping $50,000 on a top-of-the-line Formula One engine, right? But then you just install it in a car with a cracked transmission.
Yeah, that is definitely not going to end well.
Right. I mean, it doesn't really matter how much horsepower that new engine generates, because if the transmission is busted, the power never actually reaches the wheels.
Exactly. And honestly, that transmission analogy, it perfectly captures the reality of, well, most mid-market tech stacks right now.
Really? How so?
Well, companies are constantly trying to solve these operational bottlenecks at the edges, so they purchase a shiny new CRM, or they aggressively cut software licenses to save a buck.
Or they just try to layer on an AI tool and hope it magically finds efficiencies, right?
Right, but if your core ERP logic is unstable, layering a fast AI tool over it just means you process bad data faster.
Process bad data faster.
Wow.
So the ERP basically acts as the transmission, routing the power or, the data where it needs to go.
Yes, precisely.
And if the gears are slipping, nothing else works.
Yeah.
So if an unstable ERP is the cracked transmission, why are mid-market companies specifically the ones stalling out the most right now?
Well, it comes down to this really tough transitional phase we call the mid-market squeeze.
The mid-market squeeze, okay.
Yeah. So these organizations have grown complex enough that they absolutely require enterprise-grade cross-functional orchestration, but they're still operating with incredibly lean teams.
Right. They don't have an army of IT specialists just sitting around to manually manage the data flow.
Exactly. And because of that lack of headcount, you end up with fragmented versions of the truth. Like finance lives in the ERP, sales is completely siloed in the CRM.
And operations might be using a totally separate billing platform altogether.
Yes, which obviously stalls multi-entity growth and, frankly, fundamentally ruins the customer experience.
But hold on, let me push back on this a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
If you're paying top dollar for NetSuite or QuickBooks Online out of the box, I would expect those silos to just be gone. Isn't that the whole sales pitch of these tier one platforms?
That is the sales pitch, sure. But the reality is that software out of the box is just an empty vessel.
So it's not a magic bullet.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It has absolutely no idea what your company's unique billing workflows or fulfillment processes look like.
Right, that makes sense.
So if you don't intentionally align the software's logic to your specific business operations, it just becomes a very expensive, disconnected digital filing cabinet. It's a failure of governance, not a failure of code.
Not a failure of code. Okay, so how do we actually fix that governance then? Like, how do you turn this operational bottleneck into a stack-wide multiplier without hiring that massive IT army we just established mid-market companies don't have?
Well, the solution requires a deliberate strategy of automating workflows and deeply integrating the ERP with your CRM and HRIS systems.
Okay, what does that look like day to day?
So, for example, an order placed in the CRM should automatically trigger billing, update inventory, and ping fulfillment in the ERP without a single manual entry.
Wow, zero manual entry.
Right. And this is where Premier NX's mid-market approach comes in. We utilize what's called co-source delivery and platform-native execution.
Okay, let's break those terms down so we really understand the mechanics here. What do those actually mean in practice?
So co-source delivery means you aren't outsourcing your entire IT department to a faceless vendor, but you're also not trying to build it all in-house.
You find a middle ground.
Exactly. You partner with experts who embed within your lean team to build the architecture alongside you.
And platform-native execution.
That means you use the built-in native capabilities of your existing software to automate those workflows.
Instead of buying a third-party integration tool that just adds another point of failure.
Exactly. It allows organizations to scale up their systems organically without taking on massive enterprise bloat.
I love that. So for everyone listening, take a hard look at your analytics team right now. Are they actually driving insights, predicting trends, and guiding your strategy?
Or are they just spending all their time stitching together messy spreadsheets for the board because the core systems aren't communicating?
Yeah, and if it's the latter, your team is stuck managing transactions instead of executing on growth.
fix the transmission, stabilize the data flow, and suddenly your analytics team can actually analyze. Your entire tech stack becomes a unified growth engine.
That is a massive shift.
Yeah,
Stabilize your core, and the rest of your tools will finally deliver on their promises.
definitely. But before we wrap up, consider this. As AI agents become more autonomous in the coming years, they won't just be reading your ERP data, they'll be making active financial decisions based on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if your foundational data is fragmented now, what happens when an algorithm starts spending your money based on a broken version of the truth?
That is definitely something to think about as you evaluate your own systems. And that brings us to the end of our discussion on maximizing your tech stack through ERP optimization. We hope this gives you a clearer path to unlocking stack-wide value and scaling your operations.
Absolutely. If today's episode resonated with you, please subscribe to What's Next Weekly on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss a conversation. Leaving a rating or review helps us connect with more leaders like you.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your biggest takeaway from today? Are you dealing with disconnected systems or delayed growth moves because of your current ERP setup? Share with us on LinkedIn by tagging PremierNX and using the hashtag What's Next Weekly.
For more insights, show notes, and resources from today's discussion, visit our website at premiernx.com.
A quick note, this podcast episode is based on articles and industry insights and was produced with the support of Google AI services.
Join us next week on What's Next Weekly, Premier NX's weekly podcast, where we'll continue exploring how to turn today's operational challenges into tomorrow's growth opportunities.
Until then, keep building what's next.